remind ourselves where we came from. You know,
Ireland,
where we're coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
Live from the East Coast.
Yeah. Welcome back to the back corner.
Welcome back to the back corner, to the dozens
and the dozens of listeners out there
and viewers.
And viewers.
We have some viewers.
Yeah, everyone on the Spotifys, on the YouTubes. We're glad you're here and glad to have my friend. We've been trying to get our guest today on since at least 3 BC.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, 26 BC, and we have done it. Dr. Geoff Cook in the house. Welcome. Brought some theme music. Figure if there's a song that I feel like
that is my theme song of my life. No joke. Favorite song all time.
Really?
I know.
Is that what they play in the OR?
Yes.
Like when you walk in?
It should be like that.
It should be like pro wrestling. You should have entrance music.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's got playlists, let me tell you.
I do have playlists.
The scrub nurses all get their own entrance music. There's an announcer. There you go.
We did. Well, was that one of our top fours? Like we picked your sermon.
I think
intro
we have
music,
discussed the notion that preachers should also get
an
pro wrestling
song?
style
That'd be
intro
fine.
music.
If I ever preach, that's what I'm coming.
That's going in the rider.
I mean, I feel.
Would it still be hip to be square? The song you'd want to.
Yeah, I mean, you'd segue from like a Hillsong version into a Huey Lewis version.
Yeah. Going back.
This super gentle.
It's not a stretch.
This gentle moment. All of a sudden, you get that horn hit. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I come with my own horn section, which
there
you
you
may
go.
or may not know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, my 50th birthday party.
Oh, dude.
Where Huey Lewis himself graced us with his vocals.
That'd be me.
We had the Cook family horn section.
Oh, nice.
It was
which is literally one of the funnest nights of my life.
It was super fun.
Yeah, but to have the Cook family horn section,
So
next level.
For the dozens that don't know what he's talking about. So 50th birthday last year. Basically, what this man wanted was, hey, let's get my friends together and get my musical friends together, and then we're going to do like a 2.5 hour live concert of all of his favorite music, or at least the tip of the iceberg of his favorite music.
Tip of the iceberg. We only had time for 40 songs.
Yeah.
So.
It's called the Geoff Cook Top 40.
So I did a couple.
It was fashioned after Live Aid, but longer.
I did a couple.
And arguably less on the line.
A Huey Lewis
a
medley.
Huey Lewis medley.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Because how do you pick just one Huey Lewis?
Really, the question for me would be, how do you name just one Huey item?
Oh, well, Hip to Be Square.
Yeah, that's...
The Power of Love.
Okay. I mean, I'm familiar with that. I would have known it was Huey Lewis.
Heart of Rock and Roll.
Oh, wow. That guy's really got a vibe.
The library is extensive.
It sounds like him.
Because it's not just Huey Lewis. It's also the news.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Well, yeah, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit our website if you haven't already. I feel I'd be doing YouTube a disservice to not say like that subscribe button.
Yeah, no, genuinely, if you want more people to receive the same incredible joy that you receive from the back corner, like, subscribe, share an episode, tell a friend, post it on a thing somewhere.
Help us.
Expand
the dozens.
Your Facebook, your Instagram, a printout, put on telephone poll with the little pull tabs. Would you like a good podcast? And you just pull it.
I do like a good poll sign.
Yeah.
That's
the one. It's actually the one souvenir I brought home from a trip to France I did about 10 years ago. I found a giant yellow sign that said "Fête de fromage."
Oh,
I'm like, if there's a cheese party happening, I gotta go.
Is that going to be 55
I didn't
for you?
find the
Is that
party
going to be the
because all the
55th
tabs
party?
were gone, but I brought the sign home. It's hanging in my office.
Speaking of old school signs, one of the things we tossed around for advertising season 2 was putting our faces on a milk carton, like a missing kid.
Have you seen this podcast?
We figured it would be bad form, but
a little tasteless.
Anyway, it's funny though. It's on the line.
Like so many things, hilarious, but not quite appropriate.
Yeah, but at least we aired it out here. So
well, yeah,
we kind of got to do it.
Yeah.
But today's sponsors, I want to first and foremost, we got Harvest Women's Conference.
There we go.
Anybody watching can see I'm holding up a Harvest Women's shirt. That's coming right up.
Yeah.
October 19th, that weekend. October 17th and 18th. I think you can...
Classic pastor only knows the date on Sunday.
I know the Sunday. I know the Sunday. Yes. But ladies, if you haven't gone to that before, it's a, at least I can speak for my wife. It's been a huge just blessing in her life and many of the women at King's, but actually there's a lot of ladies from around the region that attend that aren't part of King's Church. So
yeah, it's open for everyone. It's not it's put on by Kings, but it's not a for only Kings thing.
Yeah, and it's in Moncton. It's at Title Church in Moncton. Yep. So you can get tickets at harvestconference.ca or cc or .com. I think we have all of them. So I think what is it, Ron? Hey, Ron.
Ron's going to do the Google on the spot.
Yeah, Ron's going to confirm that. Also a pastor thing. I don't know the actual URL.
No.
So just look up Harvest Conference. You'll find us, and you should go. So today's honorary unofficial sponsor, I wanted to give a shout out, no free shout outs to the greatest barbershop group of all time. Do you know who that is, AJ?
I believe that's the Bluegrass Student Union Band.
Well done. So,
like you didn't know that.
Based on my reading of the show notes.
For people who didn't know, Jeff and I have dabbled.
We dabble. Have you ever guys listened to? There's a barbershop quartet. Was it the Four Swell Guys or Four Neat Guys or something like that? And they take like all this like pop music, but make it barbecue. Make it barbershop.
Delicious.
Yeah, I would take that too.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious stuff.
Yeah,
I think they do like "Hit Me Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears and like a bunch of stuff.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
we'll find it.
Check them out.
We'll find it.
For some old timey adjective guys, I believe is the.
That sounds like it's down our alley.
Yeah,
I can virtually guarantee I've come across that. My YouTube algorithm is fairly dialed in.
If the algorithm has suggested them to me, what are the odds they haven't suggested them to you?
Give us a quick case for why barbershop is slept on and people should actually dive in. Why is it?
You're assuming somebody thinks it's not the height of musical perfection.
For that one person out there, what would you say?
Firstly, there is no more beautiful instrument than the human voice.
Facts.
Ooh.
Secondly,
more poetic than I was expecting.
I got plenty more where that came from. Secondly, voices singing in harmony is a taste of heaven.
Yes, transcendence.
Thirdly, when you experience the fifth voice, and those who know, you are getting a taste of heaven. Because who else is singing there?
Some angel coming in and giving that high ghost note. For those who don't know what the fifth voice is, would you enlighten them?
It's a harmonic overtone produced by very tight, close harmonies.
It's a real thing. If you hear like a really good 4-part harmony, you'll hear this
high
faint
fifth note that you're like
note that no one's actually singing.
Is there? If you're thinking to yourself, is there an angel in the room right now? And they sing high.
Always high.
Always high.
Yeah,
there's no bass angel. They leave that to me.
The bass angel. That's a
Bill
good
Gaither.
band name.
Bill Gaither might be the bass angel.
The bass angel.
Yeah, what genre is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it bass angel or the bass angels?
That's a good question. I like bass angel.
Yeah.
That sounds like a metal band.
Yeah, it does.
Yet 4 guys in white pants walk out and
my algorithm knows me. I didn't think I'd be talking about this, but I discovered a whole new genre a couple weeks ago. What's it called? It's like guys dressed up as dwarfs.
Oh yes, I've heard.
And they sing metal.
Yeah, I don't think they use that word anymore.
No. These are like Middle Earth dwarfs. Not
I think they're on the bandwagon too.
And like all their songs
Little Miners,
are like,
is that what you're
mining?
Correct.
We're mining in the mine. And it's like it's like shanty music, but meets metal, meets Middle Earth, and it's everything you imagine.
Isn't it called dwarfcore?
Dwarfcore, that's it. Yeah. It's thank you.
There is something for everyone, isn't there?
There really is. But they're playing huge shows. This one band I saw, like these giant metal festivals, and anyway, pretty. I
feel that's a fad that's going to come and go quick.
It probably will. Yeah, it might have come back already. Maybe this is a thing, back in the dark ages.
Could be a loop.
You never know. Also, Jeff, welcome. We got you some swag.
Oh,
get your very own back corner hat.
The holy headgear.
I don't think you're a hat guy, but hey,
I thought you needed to be clergy to wear the holy headgear.
Well,
no.
Followed only by the ripped jeans of righteousness.
There you go. Yeah, got a T-shirt for you.
Sweet. Thank you.
Anyway,
and as is customary, I also brought some gifts.
Oh, something for the back corner.
I have some surgical hats
Oh, let's go.
for everyone who needs them. And then a few antique surgical instruments that have been sitting on my shelf
Seriously.
for about 20 years. And the last time I did reflex testing is the last time I actually remembered how to do reflex testing. So we're just going to...
That's fantastic. We now have a reflex.
What is this other?
Oh, that's an ancient scalpel handle that has been long retired. And
I failed to mention. I said Dr. Geoff Cook, but you're not a doctor of like crystallology. You're a plastic surgeon, and so the scalpel is an apt gift. Thank you, sir.
thanks. Cuts like a knife.
Ooh, I did not have that on my my playlist for today. Also a good song. Could we pull it off?
No.
They wouldn't let us scrub in if we just wandered in like this.
No.
You got to show a card
You
or
look like
something.
you work at In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That is more my speed. That is more my speed.
I'll take that. I'm gonna leave that right there. Actually, we'll put that on.
Oh, I like
there.
it. I like it. The astronaut
It's gonna
surgeon.
stay right there.
Space surgery.
It's gonna stay right there.
I like it.
Well, we got some segments to get into, and first and foremost, we're gonna jump back into a fan favorite from season 1.
It would behoove you.
It would behoove you. This is the segment where we bring our unsolicited, unasked for advice that is going to make your life better. So, yeah, what do you got, AJ? You got anything?
It would behoove you to ask questions of the elderly members of your family while you still can.
That is so good.
Like if you're wondering who your great-great-grandfather was, you might want to ask your grandfather before he dies because your dad might not know either, right?
That is...
And if you're wondering kind of where your people come from or what your heritage are, or even just their story, it's amazing how little you can know about like grandparents and great uncles and that kind of stuff in terms of like pre-you, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it would behoove you to do that, and particularly while you have the chance. Ask those questions.
I love it.
That's good.
I love it. You got anything that would behoove the listeners today, Dr. Cook?
Yeah, sure. It would behoove you to try going to bed before 9 o'clock every night for a week.
What's the every night for 1 week?
Yeah, try it.
Okay, what do you
It
think?
just might change your life.
What do you think? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, my grandmother used to say nothing good happens after midnight, which I firmly agree with. But I would push that back. Rarely is anything happening after 9 p.m. that is going to positively affect your life.
I would agree with that.
So why don't you spend that time recharging for tomorrow? Get up a little earlier and see what it does to you.
I like it. I'm not going to try it, but I like it.
Well, I've been going to bed earlier the last week or so than I have pretty much any time in my life in that like 9 to 9:30ish zone. And
Feel good?
yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed my life, but I've
Keep it going.
It's been positive.
Do you get up earlier?
I did for a while, and then I was so tired from getting up so early. But I still earlier than I usually would. Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty hard to sleep too much, but it's real easy to not sleep enough.
That's good advice. Yeah, I try to crash by 11 at the latest. Usually like 10:30, which I think is early compared to most. It's not 9 early.
Correct.
9's way before my kids. Like
Agree.
Way before my kids.
Now, my kids are older now and can put themselves to bed.
Yeah.
I've been going to bed before my kids for a couple of years now.
long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you can freely do that.
Yeah, new world. I have one kid that left that's still too young that I can't just leave him in the morning.
You'd still be
Yeah.
watching cartoons from the night before.
Exactly. But once that happens, I will start the very early morning gym routine. That'll be the plan. So I'm the guy that drives him to school, so it kind of messes that up. But I like it. My advice, people often ask me what I've been reading. I haven't done this in a while, so I'll do a few recommended books. I read, I think, 15 books in July.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
In
I just
July?
hammered the books. Now, not all of them were beneficial. Some of them were stupid fiction, but I'll give one book that I think will bless you and be healthy for your soul. And it's a book, I think I referenced it in our last episode, but I'll give a little more insight on it. It's called Fathered by God. It's by John Eldredge, and it's fantastic. He outlines the six stages of a man's development as they should go. You need to learn how to be a beloved son. You need to learn how to be a cowboy. Like, just the idea there is, testing the boundaries, exploring, taking risks, that kind of thing. You move from cowboy to warrior. You got to find a cause and a purpose. You move from warrior to lover. This gets into not just romance with, a spouse, but more lovers of God. And then you move from lover to king. And it's the idea where a warrior has to shift. A warrior and a lover has to shift from somebody who actually lives for the benefit of others. And then once you get to your kind of 70s kind of range, he builds a case for becoming a sage. And your kingdom days, your rulership days are over. And now you exist to impart wisdom to the next generation. I have been very blessed by that book, so nice. I couldn't recommend it enough. So,
Fathered by God.
Fathered by God by John Eldredge. Should be very easy to find on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Finer books.
Yeah.
I always love that.
Is it
Finer books. Well, I just always loved it. It's like, yes, mine's a finer book. So it's available where finer, like it's such a, if you buy good books somewhere, you can find my book.
And then I have 3 like history-based books that I read. I like that kind of stuff.
Love
so one, The Tattooist of Auschwitz.
Heard of it?
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
One
The Auschwitz would be the giveaway. Not like those light-hearted Auschwitz books.
Yeah, but it was very moving. It's based on a true story. So Tattooist of Auschwitz. A book called The River of Doubt. It's the story of Roosevelt after he lost
Which Roosevelt?
Teddy or Theodore. And he lost, he ran for a 3rd term, which you could do back then. He got shot and lost, and then decides the best way to chase this time of my life is to go explore an unexplored river in the Amazon. So him and his son and a group of Brazilians discover this crazy river, and he almost dies. It's
I'm just picturing him going, we've discovered a river, and the Brazilians going, discovered it.
Nobody knew it was
Yeah,
here.
oh, crap, we had no idea.
they hadn't either. So like,
Really?
it was a collab with like the Brazilian government, and they got their guy, and Roosevelt went, and they were the first ones to go down. They just knew where it started. They had no idea where it ended.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Like, we're just going to go that way and see where it spits us out.
See which diseases we get.
Well, they got them all.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
What cause
Which
of
did you get?
dysentery
I
we
got
discover.
all of the causes.
Yeah. And then rounding out the historical genre, I read a book called The Gunfighters, and it's the story about how like gunfighting sort of became a thing in the American West.
Yeah, it became a thing when they invented guns.
Yes. Yeah. Well, particularly around the revolver and like the famous like guys shooting each other like in a draw, kind of the showdown. Billy the Kid and that whole crew. So interesting stuff. I don't know if those would necessarily behoove you. Fathered by God would for sure behoove you. The other ones would be
entertain
fun.
you.
They'd be fun.
When you finish your first one, after you finish your broccoli, you can have some ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, those were really, really good books.
I didn't do much reading. I never do much reading. I didn't do much audiobook listening this summer. I did more than normal though. But I did check out when we had Dr. Botha on. He mentioned that series, The Culture.
I tried.
Yeah, I found it incredibly hit or miss.
I tried.
There were a couple that I loved, and probably 4 that I didn't get past the first chapter.
I tried on audiobook and just couldn't. It was a level of nerdery that I
Now,
just
was it
could
the
not.
author or was it the content? Because either one can turn you off an audiobook.
It was more it was just too
You
much
mean the
of
reader? Yeah.
No, I don't buy audiobooks before I preview who's reading it, and that's a big deal.
That was a pro tip I got a long time ago.
Never just buy an audiobook.
Yeah, there are some readers that I dislike so much that if it I don't even try if I know.
I even have to hear the recording. Like if there's too much gain on the mic, and I can hear the saliva in your mouth.
Some of these
can't
ones
do
you
it.
could tell were like they had originally been recorded to tape. So they got the track starts with Recorded Books on Tape presents.
Yeah. Anyway, that made me love Dr. Botha all the more. Though I was like, man, you really are a huge
it is
nerd.
a deep cut.
And this took some real.
I'm not like hanging out at all like the Comic Cons and stuff, but like I'm fairly and I'd never heard a thing about that before.
Yeah, there's a whole little subworld of nerds that like that one.
Any other good books, AJ, that you did like?
I mean, nothing that would edify. I'm trying to remember the lady's last name. Everyone just always calls her Frida. She writes these like murder mysteries and stuff. She wrote Frida's latest is good. People who are into Frida are going, yeah, it was. And everyone else is going, that's not enough information to go on. I also listened to the latest Hunger Games. I thought that was
The
pretty
latest? There's a new one?
good. Yeah, they just released a kind of a prequel. Yeah.
The movie prequel was really good, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I watched that with my daughter. Trying to be a good dad. You know.
So I just finished a good book
Yeah.
this weekend. It was called Sermon Craft by one
Yes!
Andrew Jared.
I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Look at that. You got my middle name right, bro. That's exceedingly rare. Everyone always wants it to be James.
Come on. Go do your research. No, I really liked it.
Thanks, man.
I learned some new terms. Carnal Yahoos was my favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
also not a bad band name.
Yeah.
They open for Bass Angel.
It's good when you can bring the joke back
yeah,
around.
yeah.
That's
Throwback.
a good.
I like it.
That's a
I
good
like
pro
it.
comedian
Pride in
tip.
the callbacks.
Actually, another good book that I've been recommending to people. It's not a Christian book, but I think it's a very practical life advice book. Die with Zero. Yeah, a guy named Bill Perkins. So he was an engineer, and then he was an entrepreneur / professional poker player. You know, the classic trifecta.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Right. And on its cover, because you can't judge a book by that, except when it's in huge letters, Die with Zero. Seems a bit hedonistic. I mean, the whole premise is when you take your last breath, you should be spending your last dollar. You're like, well, that sounds like...
Wow.
Yeah. Except when you read through the book, because somebody recommended it to me, and I'm like, boy, this sounds just like the ultimate in me. It's very much not that.
Okay.
In fact, it's really about you, as in the people of your life. The premise being you need to be very intentional with your life. Nothing good in your life ever happens just because, right? As you love to say, there's no accidental abs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There's no accidental fill in the blank with anything good in your life, generally speaking, unless you put the steps in place to build a system that's going to allow you to achieve that. And so really it's about being intentional with your time, with your talents, with your money, and including sort of philanthropy and giving. And what do you do? Is it best for you to die and leave your, at that point, 70-year-old kids some money?
Right.
Or would it be better to bless them when you're there to help enjoy that blessing with them and to see it used, as opposed to just sort of hoping
that.
somebody someday does the thing that you might think is the most utilitarian with it? So, yeah, it was really interesting take on things.
Yeah.
That's a recommendation that I would
I'll
throw
check
out
that
there.
out.
I'm on that trajectory already.
Perfect.
I'm
there-
almost there.
There are different routes to achieve
You
that.
have to go from
Some more intentional than others.
don't have zero
Yeah.
and then die with zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good, and the other sort of main thrust is there are segments in your life, and this is what made me think of it when you mentioned your book. There are times in your life and seasons in your life when you can do certain things, but not others. Like when you're young, well, you don't have money to bless your kids because A, you don't have money, B, you don't have kids.
Right.
In your middle years, when you have hopefully optimum health and you're starting to build some income, starting to set those processes in place. But when you're 80, well, you can't go build a school in Ecuador.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can help fund the building of a school in
Right.
Ecuador. So there's going to be different uses of all of those time, talent,
resources.
treasure at different phases of your life, and being intentional to sort of set that up and not sort of get caught at the end with, oh, shoot, I didn't do that thing when I could have done it.
Right.
And now I only have a short list of things that I can do.
Yeah, maybe it is a bit indicative of the maybe the way we think about money, that we've made our goal like, I'm just going to leave my kids a check. You know, like that's the best thing I can give them. That's probably is not the best
Right. I mean, if
mindset.
you know, I mean, if we take sort of averages right now, the average male in Canada is dying somewhere in his 80s, which means his kids are probably going to be
55, 60.
late middle age to starting to get senior years themselves. If they get an inheritance at that point, yeah, it's nice, but probably they would rather have had 20 years of memories of the thing that mom and dad did with them when they were 30,
Right.
and have the I forget the phrase he used, but like the value of those memories is going to far exceed the value of getting some money left over from settling dad's estate.
The idea being like, because it's a biblical principle to say, like, you know, a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children and children's children. The question is, what do we think inheritance is?
Right.
Like, is it just cash, or is it?
I
Are there better things to inherit?
strongly
than that?
say no, it isn't.
Yeah.
I read an interesting quote the other day from Jackie Chan, of all people, talking about he was saying he wasn't going to leave his fortune to his son, and he said if he is capable, he can make his own money, and if he is not capable, he will only waste mine. Thought that was pretty straight up.
And then he did a backflip.
I think if you had to be capable by Jackie Chan standards, that is a bit of a high bar.
A high bar.
Yeah.
He's only like 5'6".
Yeah, but he does all his own stunts, and
He seems pretty
He's
likable.
also, I think he's 100 now, isn't he?
He's got to be
think,
him and Chuck Norris.
He's still.
I saw a Chuck Norris meme today that said Chuck Norris went to a feminist rally and came out with his shirt ironed and supper made.
Is there anything that guy can't do?
No, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah.
All right.
We have this probably is going to tank, but we thought we'd do a crypto corner, cryptid corner, not crypto finance, but cryptids.
yeah, creepy crawlies.
Mythical beasts, animal.
They open, I think, for Base Angel.
The mythical beasts,
Right along with
Base Angel and Carnal Yahoos are on the.
Yeah, they're all playing at
Concert
Harvest Festival. Not to be confused with Harvest Ladies Conference.
Yeah,
Make sure you're on the right website
Whole
there when you're
different.
buying tickets.
I figured this would be fun with a doctor that
A man of
likes the
science.
science and stuff. So, you ever heard of the Goat Man?
I haven't.
The look, for our listeners, the look I'm getting is
I've heard of a man who is the goat.
Yes.
That's a different thing.
Who's that going to be?
You're gonna have to show up at church probably
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago to find out.
Yeah. The Goat Man is one of North America's strangest and most persistent cryptid legends. Part human, part goat.
It's all right there in the name. Does what it says on the can.
And sometimes described with glinting axe in hand, this bizarre figure has haunted American folklore for decades. Sightings and stories vary by region, but the most famous versions come out of Maryland and Texas, where locals whisper about a half-man, half-goat creature lurking near bridges, back roads, and lovers' lanes. In Maryland, the Goat Man legend centers on the Bettsville Agricultural Research Center. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're all familiar with that.
It's like one like 63-year-old guy with overalls and no shirt underneath.
Yeah.
The story goes that the government experiment on goats went horribly wrong, and one unfortunate scientist was transformed into a grotesque half-goat monster. After his escape, he supposedly roamed the nearby woods and terrorized children swinging an axe at cars parked in secluded areas.
Okay, so he has forelimbs that can have opposable thumbs.
I think he's got hooves.
I think he's goat on the bottom, man on the top.
I think we're
So
talking
walks
about
just on the hooves.
What are those called?
Centaur?
No, that's a horse.
I'm sorry.
Fawn.
A fawn.
Clearly, I'm not up on the.
Are you gonna get up
Centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur is the body of a horse, and what's weird though is they got technically a centaur has two torsos. Because it has the horse
That's
torso,
right, but
then the man torso starts where the horse neck should be.
The centaur
So
has
six-limbed.
4 horse legs and,
Yes.
and 2 man arms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, meanwhile, down in Texas,
Mr.
another
Tumnus is
version of the
down there.
creature took hold around Lake Worth near Fort Worth in the summer of 1969. In the summer of 69. Multiple witnesses
Got my first real goat man.
Witnesses claim they saw a half-man, half-goat figure leaping out of the woods and even attacking cars.
Some at night time.
Yeah, the Lake Worth monster, he's known as.
He axed me till my face bled.
Caused such a stir that the crowds of people
the lost
gathered
verse.
near the lake, hoping to catch a glimpse. Those skeptics chalked it up to pranksters in a costume. The sightings left a lasting mark, and the goat man became part of Texas cryptid culture. What do you think? Is there any smoke? Is there any fire on the smoke? Is it possible there's a goat man?
Seems unlikely to me.
No, there's not.
Okay, but I mean, I've never seen a goat man, but where does the lore of hybrid creatures come from? Like, where did that come from? Because, like, you get if C.S. Lewis's whole thing in Narnia is like that. This is it. There are biblical undertones in there. Like, you go back to Genesis 6.
Yeah, but there's also just some weird stuff.
Yeah, but that's what but
My money's on just a guy riding a goat.
I wouldn't put it past in Texas.
No, I mean, he's right. There's like branches just strategically in the way, and you see a guy's head, and then they look down past the branch, and there's a goat's butt, and they're like, think it's a goat man.
With an axe.
Well,
why
would
If you're gonna get on a goat,
would you
doesn't
ride a
have an
goat
axe?
without an axe? I mean,
Maybe.
that's on you if you're riding a goat without an axe.
I will just say I don't believe in the goat man. You're relieved. However, I do think there is biblical. It's not a huge biblical leap in Genesis 6, where our friends the Nephilim
Reset the counter.
reset the counter. Where our
We've had
friends,
this for 2 episodes, and we're yet to be able to write a 1 on it.
where our friends the Nephilim
I was hoping this would be the one.
came and created offspring with humans. And
Yeah, not goats.
there are hybrid. I'm just saying, there's who knows what was going on in the world
What
pre-flood.
didn't happen at the Wendy's?
Pre-flood.
That's hilarious for my wife.
What didn't happen at the Wendy's?
It's a reference to an old SNL sketch. Sketch. But
I'm just saying, there's some room. So anyway, Dr. Cook didn't bite. So
I'm not biting. Next segment.
this is one of the ones your wife warned you about.
Have you
Do
ever
not-
had to operate on someone to remove their goat legs?
No, but I did operate on a cow once.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Do
I
tell.
actually recounted that story today.
Tell it one more time.
One more time.
Double tap that.
We'll do the short version. I was a resident in Alberta at the time.
Say no more.
Lots of cows.
That's the short version.
Canada's Texas.
No, and there was a lovely farming family from outside of Edmonton who had 2 sons born with cleft palates.
Where's the cow come in?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Now you're into the medium version. You had the short version and it didn't.
You didn't appreciate what you had. You had to go ask us.
so here we go.
details.
So anyway, so the 2 boys, there's the sons of the farmer had been born with cleft palates, and one of the surgeons that I was working with at the time specialized in cleft palate surgery. So he had fixed the boys, and everything was well. The boys did great. So they were there at their several year checkup, and the surgeon asked the farmer. Sounds like a joke, but it's a true story. How's the farm going? He said, well, funny you should ask, because we just had a cow born the other day with a cleft palate.
Seriously.
Yeah. Now, apparently, I don't come from a long farming, although I did have a dairy farmer as an uncle. So I feel this is probably true, that if a calf is born with a cleft palate, generally that cow isn't going to survive very long. So they make it survive a little less long with a shotgun or whatever means they use.
Very tender.
However, because he had 2 sons with cleft palate, he felt that probably didn't send the right message to his son.
Fair enough.
Valid point.
Good dad.
So he said to the doctor I was working with, sort of offhanded, you ever fix a cleft palate on a cow? Little did he know who he was speaking to, because this doctor was up for anything. And he's like, nope, but I'll give it a try.
Wow.
If you can find a vet to put him to sleep. So I was there at the time, and I was invited along for the adventure. Incidentally, it was the day of my first date with my now wife, which I
What
was
a
late
day.
for. I know, but I had a pretty good reason, right?
Yeah.
I was fixing a cow.
Saving a cow's whole future.
Yeah, so I show up at the On-Away
Life,
Vet
literally.
Clinic, about an hour outside of Edmonton, just in time to see this cow spread eagle on this stainless steel table being intubated with a garden hose.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so we had brought our camping headlights and maybe borrowed some surgical instruments from the pediatric hospital.
Is that one of them? That you just
I can't tell you. No. And we set about fixing a very long pallet on a calf.
Did it work?
It sort of worked for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cow palate is slightly different than a small child's palate.
I would imagine.
It's a little more tough and leathery.
I would imagine.
And about a half an inch thick. So we got about half of it closed.
Wow.
And that was the extent. So we thought, oh, maybe the rest will heal. And maybe it won't. So, yeah, the doctor sort of checked in with the farmer about a month later. How's Lucky? He's like, Lucky was the name of the cow, ironically.
Not so lucky.
Lucky, not so lucky. Because
Lucky is
veal.
delicious.
Yeah.
Very tender.
But we tried.
Yeah.
And it led to a great photo album.
That's
wow.
awesome.
That's a cool story.
That is.
Lucky's very tender. Yeah.
When I was
delicious.
a kid, we went out with a vet from our church one day, my dad and I, and got to see a few procedures on cows. It was,
Wow.
they cut them open and let all the gas out and stitch their stomach to their side and all that weirdness.
Reminds me of that Norm Macdonald joke he told on
Norm.
He told on Conan about his friend the farmer, that this pig like saved him from a fire, and like, but this pig had a peg leg or whatever. He does this long, like 5-minute long story or whatever.
As Norm is wanting
the
to do.
punchline was like, well, why does he have a peg leg? Why does he have a wooden leg? You don't eat a pig that good all at once. It's a good
Norm.
Oh, he's a legend, man. He is so funny. All right. Well, we have a new segment we wanted to try. We want to do a segment. I don't know why I picked this, but here's the soundbite for our segment.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
This segment is called That's a Hill I'll Die On.
Yeah.
That's worth fighting for. We thought, hey, let's bring to the table something that it could be trivial, it could be meaningful. What's something that you are willing to plant your flag, draw a line, and say, that is a hill.
You'll never convince me otherwise.
I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
That's the name of the segment. Figured we'd give it a try today.
Jam and Cheese Whiz make a delicious sandwich.
That's your first one?
I'm coming out of the gate hot with Jam and Cheese Whiz sandwiches.
I agree.
Oh!
Wow.
How do you feel, Brent?
It sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you don't even
It's
know.
about as appealing as picturing a cow's cleft palate being operated on.
Oh, no, man. Jam and Cheese Whiz. Are you
Now, admittedly, I haven't had it in about 46 years.
well, yeah.
But my memories of it are pleasing.
Yeah.
I watched him down one 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, no, that was
a little piece of toast that I got with my breakfast, and I put a little jam. They had Jam and Cheese Whiz. I said, I'm going
cheese
to
whiz
go old
goes with a
school.
lot of things, but jam is one of them.
There are two kinds of food: things that cheese is good on, and things that chocolate is good on. That's it. Those are the two food groups. That's not a medical opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm taking note. I didn't know that.
That's a culinary choice. But yeah, no, it's sweet and tangy. Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
It's a bold take. It's a hot take. I don't believe you. But anyway, it sounds disgusting.
I think we got a new segment coming up called Brent Tries White Trash Food.
It's that.
Still a little Fredericton left in you over there, buddy.
Yeah.
A, I'm glad you brought up food, and B, I'm glad you used white trash because you broke the seal, and now I can use
dude,
it.
that
Because
describes
mine
my
also is
entire
food
palate.
related. So
Okay,
when you
all
mentioned
right.
this to me last night, the first thing that came to mind, and for sure a hill I will die on, ketchup has no place on eggs.
Ooh.
I can agree with you on that. I am with you on that.
In any form?
Period. Ketchup belongs on hot dogs, hamburgers, and French fries. End of story.
That's pretty much
Put
it.
it back in the fridge.
I agree.
I put a little,
Maybe potatoes that are
I put
like
a little
deep fried
ketchup
like a
on my
French fry.
omelet.
And
every
since
day.
you used the term already, when I see someone do that, I'm like, WT right there.
Well, see that tracks because I'm a self-professed white trash culinary
So
person. I have an omelet every morning and I put ketchup on it.
I'm
Here's a
sorry
new
to hear that.
segment. What's the most white trash thing in your fridge?
I would say the ketchup
or that you do most often in food. That cheese whiz.
Oh, this jug of great Kool-Aid that comes everywhere with me. That's the most.
Is that legit?
It's actually Kool-Aid.
Oh, wow.
That's right there, baby.
That is
okay.
This guy's really pounding Kool-Aid right now.
All day, every day, I pound that Kool-Aid.
I don't think I've had grape Kool-Aid since I worked at Green Hill Lake Camp in 1992.
Yeah, once they got rid of mini sips, I was done.
Mini sips I can get behind.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, they need to bring those back. Our kids are missing out on the mini sips.
You know why this generation is struggling?
Because they don't have a bag of red sugar.
They've never sucked sugar out of a bag.
I saw the logic by getting rid of mini sips in that bag form when I was in Haiti, though, because they I don't know if the UN was doing it, but if you want water, they just have bagged water everywhere, and those little bags are everywhere, like just the litter. It was gross. Just
It's like COVID masks, but times a million.
Yes,
That's super common in developing countries in general, that they just fruit juices, everything. They just sell them in bags. And sometimes not like mini sip was like factory sealed. They'll just like pour it. Like you would have come into a bag and spin her closed and hand
don't
it to
spill it.
That's
there's a goldfish in it.
It's a spill proof container if you keep it twisted.
Uh-huh.
All right, here's
what's your hill?
Here's my hill I'll die on. Music videos are stupid.
Even the music video for Hip to Be Square?
Just any music video. Like, it doesn't
Even
help the song.
Take On Me by Aha. I mean, that was pretty revolutionary.
What if it's live concert footage?
I just don't think that it helps the art of the song.
I would agree with that.
And then the reason I've come to this opinion is the many times I've been listening to a podcast or a book while at the gym, and they've got music videos on the screens, and you just see these people like, why are you dancing in a field? Why is your guitar not
to be
plugged
fair, the playlist at Good Life is notoriously lousy.
Well,
so it's not like they're taking video hits from 1988.
It's dumb music videos. But even music I like, the music video never made me like the song more.
Agree.
Or see it in a different light.
Probably. Although I would not have listened to Take On Me by Aha if it wasn't for the video.
The only one that I could like maybe advocate for is like Thriller. But that was done.
That was more of a film that actually had some music to it.
That happened to have a score.
What if it's concert footage?
I don't mind that, like live concert. I get that.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, some videos are just a compilation of concert footage.
I can tip my hat to that.
Right.
I just think the artistry, it seems so obnoxious.
I believe it was the
often.
video for Guns N' Roses' "You Could Be Mine," which was just a lot of concert footage, and I just always thought it was like fascinating to watch.
That's fine.
Axl
Like Pearl
Rose
Jam's got a couple
run
of those.
around and.
These bands that just were like, I'm not making a music video.
Have you ever seen those clips of Friends without the laugh track?
No.
It's a very similar. I think it'd be a very similar experience for you. Like they make these jokes and no one laughs, and you're like, oh, a lot of this is not funny at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just seems. Yeah.
Yeah. That's So there's
the laughter was the music.
Right.
On Friends.
There you go.
Ooh. As was the theme song.
Well, will that ever make a comeback? The live studio sitcom recording. I saw like a clip of the guys from Seinfeld talking about when they did the Titleist. Was it a Titleist? You ever see that? You never saw that episode where
he hits it out into the whale?
Yeah, and then they added that whole thing at the end, that last scene, that they added that the night before, and they had Jason Alexander. They gave him this whole dialogue and said, "Can you memorize that and go live? You got one take." And he smoked it, and and he's like, "I reached down into the beast, and I pulled out this." And Kramer's like, and there's like this prolonged laugh because it's a studio audience, right? And he's like, "Is that a Titleist?" Gold,
Jerry. It's gold.
It's gold. Yeah. So I could leave music videos, sweet, to mix them up. So,
Are we doing another one? Or are we gonna?
Oh, yeah, more. Go for it.
I mean, I
can do a meaningful rant too if you want.
I can.
All
do
right, you got one more.
One.
Go for it.
This is a hill I'll die on. Capitalizing anything, name, title, or pronoun that refers to God.
Name. Oh, really? You don't like him?
The capital?
Like he, him, always capital. No, I do. Always capitalize.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you on that. I was about to get upset.
When I make my slides for my sermons and I'm copy and pasting scripture
And if you
over,
wonder how he does that,
it drives me up the wall.
I'm going to draw people's attention.
It drives me up the wall, and I usually don't change it in the actual text. Scripture text, but I'm just like, no, capitalize it.
You haven't seen me do that. I always capitalize.
Do you go through and capitalize it?
Oh, yes.
Maybe I should start.
It's called fear of the Lord.
Well, that's how I feel about it.
I revere my Lord. I'm not just going to call him with a lowercase h.
That's right.
He, him.
No lowercase h's. It's capital He, capital him.
They, them, the Trinity.
Well, I guess the Trinity, technically.
We're coming in on heresy, folks.
That's a hill I'll die on.
I like that. You got any more hills to die on? No. I wasn't really prepared.
One good hill a day?
I was going to do a rant about the Christian critique industry that is growing, but I'll save that for another day. There is a whole like industry growing of people getting huge platforms by just ripping on people with platforms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. Like it just is so, and the argument is, well, we're trying to be a prophetic voice and hold accountability. Well, you know what?
You're not.
No, you're not.
You're going for clicks.
You're going for clicks. You're going for bucks. You are using a platform to build a platform, and you don't see the irony in that. It drives me crazy. It's bad for the kingdom. I'm not saying that the Osteens or the Ingersolls of the world don't need accountability. I am saying the place to do it is not your TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's usually in a relationship.
Well, and that's. I mean, you take the whole Matthew 18 thing, like how to like.
Right.
There's no way that guy's like. Well, first I'll ask Joel if I can meet with him to walk him through this. And then if that doesn't work, I'll bring another couple people with me. And then if that doesn't work, I'll talk to the elders of his church. And then if that doesn't work, I'll drop a TikTok. Like,
fair enough. Yeah. But I think the point of that Matthew 18 though is like to push towards human contact.
No, that's my point. I'm saying that guy didn't. There's no way he did all those steps.
Yeah,
he just made the video.
Yes. Yeah. His argument would be I couldn't get a hold of Osteen.
Sure.
Yeah. Copeland was available. But
Copeland.
He's on his jet. Okay. He had to fly a commercial that one time. So I hit him with my. I hit
Although
him with
they did kick me out of first class when I tried to talk to him.
Faith was a little weak that day. He had to fly commercial.
Yeah. Anyway,
who's the head and who's the tail now, Kenny?
Oh man.
Wow.
That's. So that we'll do that again sometime.
Yeah,
we'll do that again sometime. I want to talk to Geoff today about a bunch of things. First, and I don't think I've known you for a long time, been friends for a long time. I don't think I've ever just gotten your testimony. I didn't tell you I'd necessarily do that, but just give us your testimony of how you got here and how Jesus got you here, and when you found him and all that stuff. Like, give us the flyover of your story.
Okay, well, we'll try to keep this brief.
This is a long form podcast, man. It's long. Relax.
We'll see what the middle-aged prostate can handle.
That's another segment we're going to come up.
You're 51 years old?
50 and a half. 51 and a half. Yeah, so I was born at a very young age in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And North Side.
Yep. Pound it.
That explains why you guys don't want to put ketchup on your eggs. Snooty Frederictonians.
Yeah, hoity-toity.
I was from the Marysville, so I like to got a little blue collar on me.
I was from Sussex, so
were you called deers?
Yeah. And we hunt bird.
Yeah.
Right. Not partridge
deers and bird.
Certainly not grouse.
No. Bird.
So you're born at a young age?
Yeah.
To your mother?
Yes.
And ostensibly a father was somehow
present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't have to be present, but involved at some point.
At some point, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and blessed to be starting fresh in a Christian home, which is truly a blessing for sure in so many ways. And sort of got officially saved, I'll call it. Also at a young age, so I was 7, Green Hill Lake Camp, shout out.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a time of walking without Jesus. Like that was sort of an official, you're sort of old enough to put your hand up at chapel when Reverend Phil Edwards, another shout out, makes the invitation at camp, but it's not like I sort of had no idea. And then there was this
Yeah.
Jesus epiphany. It was definitely something that just started, blessed to have Christian parents. And
I think that's the goal, right? Like that's
Totally.
That's why we plant our kids in it.
that's right. And a Christian extended family, both sides. So really blessed in that regard, that sort of saw the truth from the beginning. So there didn't need to be a lot of unlearning and relearning. It was sort of just a gradual progression of, catching up to the Lord at age 7.
Yeah.
And then, life sort of went on from there. And again, don't remember a time, when Jesus sort of wasn't a part of my life. And at each, I'd say, phase of life, that relationship takes steps. I mean, sometimes it's a ramp and sometimes there's definite steps, just depending on life situations and relationships and what have you. And then, never wavered. I'm very thankful that through either blessing, providence, or circumstance, I never had sort of that prodigal season where you're like, I don't know if this is legit, or, I'm going to turn my back and take a hike somewhere. Never had that. I mean, not that any of us are, immune from the questions and all of the stuff that comes with life, but never was there a time where I'm like, I don't think this is it. Thankfully.
Even going through like med school and stuff, it didn't really rock you like
no. Again, ebbs and flows. I would say specifically the med school year, there was never like a question of that. I will say that my time, so education was pretty long. So, I was in university longer than I was in public school. Wow. So at each stage of education, I was blessed, provided, fill in whatever word you feel. Predestined? No. Who knows?
A little bit
hey,
of all
listen,
of
I
it.
said I heard a little Calvinism there on Sunday. It was good.
Hey, man.
So to be blessed with sort of Christian friends and community, either at the church or a Christian friend at school or a Christian teacher, who there was always
Counterbalance
some other support other than just family. And so there, again, things wax and wane in seasons of life. I went to UNB in Fredericton, so I lived at home for that. So really from, high school into university years was as smooth a transition. I mean, half the people in my university class I knew from high school. So that social set, there was really no big upheaval. A lot of kids, that's the time when they go off to university or college or move away to get a job or whatever. And that can be a pretty pivotal life event, often with negative consequences, where I stayed home and just sort of kept on that conveyor belt of education. There wasn't any social upheaval. And so I feel I was able to weather those sort of 19, 20, 21 transition years pretty easily. So by the time I did go away to school, I was move away for the first time was when I went to medical school in Halifax. So I would have been 21, I think. You're already pretty solid in a lot of your beliefs and habits and do's and don'ts and, just your life. You're very different at 21 than you are at 17 or 18. Yeah. The Halifax years... so that's the med school years. So there's 4 years there. At that time, I found Halifax, or at least the area that I was living in Halifax, to be a bit of a spiritual dead zone.
I think AJ would
tracks.
concur.
Yeah.
I planted a church there.
Yeah.
Like, not
Okay.
far from
Interesting,
Dow.
right? To hear someone from a sort of a totally separate, but that, they talk about dead zones in the ocean.
Yep.
It kind of felt like a bit of a dead zone spiritually in Atlantic Canada. Yep. Like I came from Fredericton that had a pretty vibrant Christian community. My brother lived in Moncton, so I'd visit him, and that was pretty vibrant. And I had some family in PEI, and that was pretty vibrant, etc. Halifax just felt different.
Yep.
And there was a bit of as a result, sort of a loss of that social / Christian community connection around campus, which coincided with my first time living on my own and sort of the challenges of that. And that was a bit of a test almost. Now, fortunately, I got plugged in through sort of funny series of circumstances to a church in Dartmouth through Rob Nyland.
Yep.
Shout out, River Cross. And he was, I don't know what he was at the time, youth pastor, assistant pastor, or something in Dartmouth. And I had known him sort of casually before. So I got plugged into that church more for their music ministry. I was looking for an outlet to use that. And so that sort of became my church family, even though it was a bit difficult to get there. So that, I would say, maintained my kind of church family, although it felt like a pretty small family in Halifax. Fortunately, I had a couple of classmates who I knew from Fredericton who were also Christians and, and took their faith seriously and stuff. So there was some community, and there's a Christian Medical Dental Society throughout North America, and we had a chapter at Dalhousie, which was good too, just to sort of have some people that you knew in the medical community that
Do you think
that had their faith.
You've already outlined, like, in these different seasons of life, every time you get talking about the scenario you're in, you're pointing to, but this was there, or, this group was there, or that friend, like seemed to be like wherever you were, there were little resources that God gave you. Would you say that that's just a thing that you can point to at the different phases of your life? Like, even though, the landscape shifts when you go to Halifax, you're like, yeah, but there was...
No question. I consider it very providential. Like, it's easy to see in the rearview mirror where you've been, right? It's harder to see sort of when you're driving through the fog. But I can very clearly look back and sort of trace those points. It's a bit of a meander of our life, but to see sort of, it's almost like, I use an analogy of like stepping stones across a river. It's rarely just a straight line of stone. You just sort of, hop over here, and you don't necessarily know where that next one is. But look what's been provided, or look what it happens to be here. I don't think it happened to be there. It was there for a reason.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. I'm convinced that, like, even though we've all lived long enough to know you go through some pretty hard seasons and some seasons of pain, loss, question, all that. But there's always, especially in hindsight, there's always seemingly evidence of God's grace. Like, I refuse to believe I'm ever without grace. Like, not just in a macro sense that, I'm saved, I'm going to go to heaven, but that God's hidden or left things in reach for me that are going to help me, take that next step across the river, kind of thing. There's just always little hidden things that he proves to be faithful, along the way. Although sometimes in the moment it doesn't feel like it. But.
No, it doesn't. And often the discovery of those things came after a time of particular challenge, or almost seeming like a test. Like, do you trust me?
Right. Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah, for sure. So you moved to Halifax. Then from there, you're into...
Yeah, then there's
Alberta.
a whole great big long crazy story about sort of getting into plastic surgery, which I won't bore you with now because that's our next episode.
You could keep our interest, I'm sure.
So, because it is that is a really long story. Like, that's an hour talk. People don't need to hear all that. So the real short version is I matched to plastic surgery, again, very providentially, to Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay.
Edmonton. I had my best friend growing up had been living there, and so I had gone out in December of my last year of med school to do an elective there, and I got off the airplane. It was minus 38. I'm like, where am I?
Edmonton, Alberta.
Yeah.
Right from the Tourist Bureau.
Which is cold most of the year. I ended up absolutely loving Edmonton. Anyway, so I went out there, did an elective on a recommendation of someone through somebody else. I'm like, Edmonton? Like, everybody.
That elective was the bovine surgery elective?
It was before. They predated that. Yeah. PB, we'll call that, pre-bovine. And so, anyway, went out there, and I'm like, Edmonton in the winter, and it was dark all the time, and it was freezing cold. Did I mention that? And absolutely loved that elective. So this is in my 4th year of med school, when you're like before you do it's a big match to your residency, and loved Edmonton because all along I was planning, no, I'm going to rank Halifax first, and it's easy, and I know the people, and I'll just stay there and suffer through the dead spiritual zone and whatnot. But then I went to Edmonton, and I'm like, wow, this feels like I should be here. And anyway, so I changed my ranking. I'm like, I think I'm gonna make Edmonton. They're like, Edmonton, okay. Anyway, and I matched. So I got to go out there, and I got to share a house with my best friend growing up, and that was cool. And happened to meet my wife there, so clearly I was supposed to go there.
Evidential.
And talk about an up and down season. Surgical residency it's tough. It's 5 years. It's a grind. Edmonton was known as being a very old school. It's a grinder. Like, you're going to come out of here like you just came back from the war. You're going to be. We're going to make you into a surgeon, or you're not coming out with E stamped on your back. Yeah. And it was, the guys there are awesome, all the surgeons at training is awesome, but a lot was expected. Yeah. And it was tough. And in those days, especially, it was a proving ground, in a lot of ways.
Did you guys get married in that time, or?
No. I would never have lasted in a relationship. It was, hats off to people who can be married. And I don't know how you have children during surgical residency. Like, it's just, you feel like you're just treading water to keep your head above, at least I did, for 5 years. Yeah. I can't imagine having any extra, anything to give to a spouse or a child, at least me in those years.
We'll take your word for it.
It wasn't that. Now, I look back on that as some of the best years of my life. But also the hardest years of my life. Fortunately, I had an awesome church there. It's a place called McKernan Baptist. Okay. It's right beside the campus. They specialize in university students. Like, on a given Sunday morning, they had a couple of services, and then the 11 o'clock, there'd be about 400 people there. Probably 75% of them were university students. Wow. Yeah.
That's cool.
And in Alberta, there's not sort of the Christian culture that there is in the East Coast. Like, if you're going to church in Alberta, it's because you actually want to go to church. In Alberta, it's not just because, I go with Granny every Sunday and we sit in the same pew and we do the thing. There's not a real strong cultural Christian.
Like, we're Anglicans.
Right.
Our family are Anglicans.
Right.
There's a lot of Christians in Alberta.
True.
But not the heritage.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And that was really refreshing. To be in a church that wasn't primarily families in white hair, and to see this. Definitely the biggest demographic at this church was university students, which is pretty neat. So really vibrant sort of young people in group, and instantly you had 20 friends that were all your age, and you could find something to do.
Kind of the opposite of the Halifax experience.
Very much so. Yeah. And for me, in a way, was a spiritual awakening after having been in sort of this dry season. Because again, I never lost my faith in med school at all, but it's very different when you're walking in the desert with Jesus versus walking at the party with Jesus.
And both are necessary.
Absolutely.
Is the thing. Like, would you have appreciated what you got?
No, I wouldn't have. Because I had that strong Christian peer group growing up in Fredericton.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think somebody's saying about that once.
There's a music video for that.
That we won't watch. Because music videos are terrible.
It's terrible.
And so to then go through that drier season and then sort of come out into a more flourishing season made you appreciate, like, for me, that was one of the things that I hold on to very dearly.
It's a little tangent, but not.
Love tangents.
One of the things I wanted to
love trigonometry in general.
Some of the things that that's good. Some of the things I was thinking I wanted to like touch on with you, because I was just like some of the stuff I admire about you, or like that I think is worth people hearing from you on, is that like I think one of the things I appreciate about you most is like you and your family have been part of King's the entire time I've been here, at least within
20 years.
Within a year. Yeah, I don't know if I came before you or you before me, but we were right around the same time.
2005.
Okay, you were 1 year before
July.
me. I was in May of 2006. So we've basically been here together the whole time. And I know you enough to know, like, especially over the last 20 years at our local church, there's all kinds of stuff you'd do different that's not your favorite, or like music styles, or like there's just. And yet,
a shocking lack of barbershop in this church.
Although we have,
I'm not saying zero.
I would say we've had more barbershop than probably any other church in St. John.
That's to be fair.
I think we need to get that on the social media right now. More barbershop than any other church.
The most barbershop-y church in Atlantic Canada. But I guess what would you say? Because you're talking about the value of like just planting yourself in kingdom community, and I think one of the things that I wish more people carried like you do is that I think you see the health and the vitality that comes from doing the hard work of staying rooted in a kingdom community, and like just like hey, this is my church, like these are my people, this is where we go. I've got friends in other churches. This is my community. Like unpack just the way and maybe it's connected to some of the stuff you learned in that journey, in your time in Edmonton and coming out of Fredericton. Like, I guess, how do you think about rooting yourself in a local church, maybe getting past personal preference at some level, and what the benefit of that is?
Whew, I mean, that's a big topic. So firstly, and this goes back to my growing up years in Fredericton. Like, we were at the same church my entire life, and I still consider Brunswick Street. Like, I walk in the front door and I'm like, yep, home. Smells like home.
Yeah.
Literally, I know the smell of the carpet in the foyer. So I had the privilege to grow up with a strong Christian family. And I mean that just like our biological family. Like, we can't pick our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But we still got to live with them, and we still got to learn to get along with them. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, I don't like my brother now, I'm going to go be somebody else's brother.
But that's pretty common, though.
I know it is. You miss out on the richness of being part of a family if you're always skipping to the next family, because there ain't no perfect family. And if you think you're eventually going to find it, you're just going to be wandering in the wilderness forever.
Yeah.
So you miss the richness of family. And a church family, that is a macrocosm of the nuclear family, with everything magnified, right? There's more disagreements, but there's more love.
More dysfunction.
There's more dysfunction, but there's also more variety. And you can get, you got everybody in it. I mean, now we're a spoiled riches in the sense that, we got however many thousand people here, but there's somebody that can fit every role in every niche. And so it's a bit of a, hey, see what you're missing. I just don't think if you're sort of, oh, well, I don't like the music here, I'm going to go to this church. Well, but now I don't like the preaching, so now I'm going to go to this other one.
Help people, like, what are the things, and you jump on this too, AJ, if you want, but what are the things about like a church community that, like, because I think people get hung up on a layer too superficial. And they start making decisions about, whether I'm going to come or be part of this or stay on a surface level, and they actually miss the deeper gift of community? What are the things, I guess, about a church community that's like, that's the beauty. Like that's the beauty of it. It's, you know, what in your mind, what are the things that make a church great?
Make church great again.
The greatest.
And you're right, there are so many layers to that. I mean, there's the corporate worship piece. Like when people think about going to church, they think of the Sunday morning gathering and that quote unquote experience. I mean, if you're going to church just for the experience, you're probably better off to
Go to a concert.
Go to a rock concert because they got a better sound system.
I heard Colonel
Colonel Yahoo
are playing soon.
You're going to want to check them out. Bass Angel's going to be there. It's going to be a show.
So, I mean, not to go down that tangent.
Yeah.
Opposite over adjacent.
There you go. Oh, man.
It's a sign.
Nice.
Will you co-sign that, Joe?
I will. When you start to get connected, it does a few things. Number one, there's an element of get over yourself, which my wife loves to tell me, right? Church is not about me. Never was, never will be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it for me, but it's not about me. When you start to realize it's not about me, but how can I be part of this? Then you start to realize there's a use for me here. I have skills and abilities that not everybody here has and that the church needs. And whatever that skill or ability is, the church needs it. When you start to get connected, you find an outlet for those skills and abilities that the Lord's blessed you with that you may not be able to use, but you'll definitely find a richer use for them in the church than you will elsewhere. Because now you're doing it not just to help people, but also for the furthering of the kingdom. Is there a better reason to use your gifts? I can't think of it. Also, you start to grow those relationships with the people around you. You realize, I guess I'm not alone. I'm not the only guy out in the workplace who has faith and struggles with all the same stuff that I thought I was the only one. Oh no! Oh look, that's Dave from the other office.
You find each other.
Yeah. So there's an element of affirmation of your faith and you living it out that you may not otherwise do. You also start to weave that rich tapestry of what a church family is, and you start to have the what's the word? Like the privilege of being part of other people's walk and getting woven into their family.
Yeah. The thing that's when you said, you know, get over yourself, I actually think that's the challenge and the glory actually of a church is like how many people can actually die to self in service of Christ and in like service to one another. Like, 'cause I was sharing with somebody, they were asking about our church, and you know, I forget how it came up, but they were like, what's the thing about Kings that like you're most proud of or whatever? And I said, like, I don't think people realize how hard it is to get 5,000 people to get over themselves enough to be part of the same thing in Atlantic Canada. Yeah. Like, it's just a freaking miracle.
There's this popular thing people say when they're talking about church, and it's right, but it's not all the way right. Where they, church isn't the building or church isn't an event, church is the people. But that's not quite right. Church is the relationships between the people.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's not just a bunch of individuals, it's the community that exists between them. And you can experience the building and you can experience the service by bopping around from church to church to church, but you can't experience, like, community just takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes intentionality. And generally it takes time and intentionality beyond the Sunday morning thing too, right? Like the richest experiences of community there are some rich experiences of community that can happen in that room, but the richest experiences of community happen other places at other times. And, you know, this morning, a brother in Christ from this church just came up and said, "Hey, can I pray for you?" Put a hand on my shoulder and prayed over me over some stuff that I'm going through. And like, if you drift in Sunday morning, sit there for your, well, let's be honest, hour and a half here, sit here for your hour and a half and then leave. And then in, you know, a month or a year or 4 years, when you get bored of whatever, you know, I think I've heard everything Brent has to say, or I found in a church that they play the songs I like a little more, and you just go jump over. Like, you're never going to get to that. You're never actually going to get church, because church is the relationships that exist between the people. It's the community.
Yeah. It's like, it's such a superficial way to think about church. It's like, oh, I like the preacher or I like the music. It's like, well, actually, no, the thing that makes it great is that preacher in the context of those people, in the context of their expression of worship together, like all those, it is relationship for sure. With like you mentioned about the workplace thing. I also, let's shift a little bit to there. Another thing I really like love about you is like, you are an evangelist. Everybody, you know, everybody's been given gifts, and we have spiritual gifts as well. And like, you live a life of evangelism, and you know, I don't think you pass out tracts or stand on a soapbox. Do you?
Not entirely true.
Talk to the dozens about, you know, how
It might be 12 by now. But
no, they're here. How do you think about your own life, like in relationship to your vocation as a surgeon, but your greater calling as like a child of God, a missionary, you know, in real time? Like, how do you process? You know, you finish med school, you get assuming you get placed back here. Did you work somewhere else first? You've been here the whole time?
Yeah. So, just to wrap up the whole education.
Yeah.
So 5 years in Edmonton of surgery training, and I did 1 extra year of subspecialty training in London, Ontario.
Okay.
And then you're done, like stamped.
You can go work
fully
where you
doctor,
want.
go get a job. And I'd always planned to come back to St. John.
Yeah.
At the time, it was a really good job market, meaning like there were jobs all over Canada. And there were a lot of places. I mean, I've lived in 4 provinces and worked in lots of different places, and there were attractive things of various ones of those, and even other places. But I'm like, nah, you know what? Yeah, I did.
Like a call?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that, just sort of, you know, it's settled in your soul. I'm supposed to go back there. I want to go back there, and I like being there. I mean, I had no ties to St. John specifically, other than I'd spent a couple of months here in 1 month in medical school.
Yeah.
But it checked all the boxes, but also there was just this settled feeling of that's where I'm supposed to go.
You, like, people who don't know you, like, you know, I guess if they know you a little bit, they would know, like, okay, you're not a guy that's like shy about who you are. You know, you love Huey Lewis in the News, Barbershop.
Everybody loves Huey Lewis,
you know,
if
like,
they're honest with themselves.
You're particularly you, and you're totally comfortable with that. But I think it would be unfair to like, oh, well, Jeff's just naturally able to, you know, invite people to church, tell them about Jesus. And I think you've been very intentional with that. Like how would you encourage people to, you know, actualize their vocation from whether it's Christian, I wouldn't say obligation, but motivation. It's like, how do you think about the fact that God gave you the gifts, abilities, you know, intellect to be able to do what you do, and then to turn that over and say, I'm not just here doing these surgeries for myself, but I'm trying wherever I can to, you know, that we might win some.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's humbling in the sense that on any given day you stumble. I do. Anyway, I don't know. You guys probably don't because you're pastors.
You're not perfect?
No, far from it.
We are.
And there's no more frustrating part of my life than work. Now, it's very rewarding. And I love what I do, and there's no question in my mind, I was born to be a plastic surgeon. Now, for those of you that don't know what plastic surgery is, I won't bore you, because there are a couple of things that come to mind when people hear plastic surgery.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm pulling my face back.
And that's one very tiny little niche corner of plastic surgery. That's not generally what I do all day. I'm primarily a reconstructive surgeon, and hand and wrist specifically, dabble in a whole bunch of other parts of it. But so I've, like, no question, like, whenever I see the med students, because we teach at Dalhousie, you know, they're like, oh, you know, like, you know, how did you choose? And I'm like, oh, I didn't. Calvinist, it chose me.
Yeah, he chose me.
Like there's zero question in my mind that I was, I mean, it sounds weird, like, who was born to be, I was. Yeah. And not just born, but even like the toys I played with as a kid, the
Really?
stuff I enjoyed to do or not to do, the different teachers I had, like, just sort of, again, to sort of look back at all those river stones,
Steered
right?
you.
It was so, whew. So clear.
Yeah.
And now in hindsight, you know, I can appreciate when I was in Edmonton doing my interview to get into plastic surgery. You know, they said, "What are the biggest influences in your life?" And you know, most people have this canned answer. And I sort of thought, I'm like, my parents and Lego. Right, you know, it's a bunch of guys. There were like 13 guys sitting around a table, and I'm at the end. Right, like the classic movie mid-school residency interview is somewhat high stress, and all of a sudden, you know, 13's.
They'll look up.
You know, they look up from whatever. We didn't really have cell phones back then because I'm old, and it was the 1900s. But from the newspaper they were reading, I don't know, papyrus, and they're like,
They rolled up their scrolls and were like, what in the world?
did their beards. They're like, we've heard the parents' angle before. We've never heard Lego. Please expound. And anyway, I sort of did. And like that, anyway, Lego, both sides of your brain, creative, mechanical.
Yeah. It made perfect sense to me.
Tactile.
For what it's worth.
No, it really
I'm
is.
like,
So
yeah, totally.
again, that's another podcast episode. How Lego can make you into a plastic surgeon.
It would behoove you to use Lego.
Play with Lego.
That's my next behoovement.
There you go. I just had a behoovement.
Anything you can do if you're not having a behoovement often enough?
Oh, yeah. So that was bringing us back. So I do feel I was born to be a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
Despite that, the actual practice of medicine in Canada is challenging.
What, in Canada?
Yeah, I know, right? Land of milk and honey. I mean, I think it's challenging anywhere, but there are constraints, there are frustrations, there are administrative roadblocks. There's always something kicking at you. Even on your best day, you're never going to walk out and say, hey, wow, that was completely stress-free and everything went exactly to plan. The minute you do that, something's going to slam in your face. So there's always something kicking at you. Most of the time you deal with that hopefully appropriately. Sometimes you don't. Yeah. And as someone who tries to emulate the fruits of the Spirit, but wish there were a couple that weren't on the list, like maybe patience and self-control, they're not optional though, are they? No, shoot. If you could only pick your top 7.
My understanding that it's it's kind of an all play.
There are struggles with that. And so, and I'm coming to a point, it's a constant humbling to know that you've stumbled and failed and not always been the evangelist or the shining light of Christ's love or whatever. And it's really easy to sort of accept defeat and like, oh, okay, forget it. I'm just going to not bother. But you can't, right? Weird. There is something called the Great Commission. Yeah. And so, you know, every day you got to pray for A, forgiveness, B, new grace, C, how can I now, okay, what I did yesterday, that's gone. Yeah. Now's a new day. How can I intentionally show the love of Christ to someone who I don't even know who it's going to be today. Mm-hmm. It might be the person that's having an awful day. It might be the person who on the surface is having a fantastic day. I don't know what they're struggling with or what they need. But how can I show Christ's love there? How can I overtly or not so overtly literally proclaim the kingdom?
And you try to find like actual ways to do that. Like I know I've seen some of your playlists in the OR. You know,
I do. Now I'm lucky enough that I can play music when I work most of the time, and B, I have control over that. And C, a lot of my patients are awake. They operate on like probably 90% of the surgery I do. Patients are wide awake, so it offers a lot of talking opportunity.
Yeah.
And I am eternally surprised at how many people respond to hymns.
Really?
Yeah. Some of them, you know, I enter my music is a tad bit broad.
You're eclectic.
Yep.
Huey Lewis in the Barbershop.
So Huey Lewis may be followed by, maybe Metallica might be followed by The Old Rugged Cross.
Yeah.
I'm eternally surprised at people. So never once in my 20 years here has anyone said, turn that off.
Really? Not
Ever.
once?
Ever. Zero times.
I mean, you do have their like hand cut open or whatever.
Yeah, but I also ask
think...
them, you know, what kind of music do you like? And they're like, play whatever you want, usually is what they say, but what they really mean is country. No, it is.
Play the whole variety from Johnny Cash to Alan Jackson. Whatever.
Yes, sir, I have both kinds of music, country and Western, and we will run the gamut. But I've never had anyone say, turn that off, or I don't like it, or complain, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Now, I've had people say, what's that? Or I don't know this one. That's not Metallica anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's a banjo version of The Old Rugged Cross. But I've had so many people like just they light up.
Right.
They're like, oh, or they'll start humming along.
Yeah.
Or now some people say, I feel like I'm at a funeral, because you know what? Maybe that's the only church experience they've ever had. But more often than not, it's, I know this one. Or they'll just start humming along, and it's usually the hymns.
Yeah.
Because there is, as we talked about earlier, a bit of a cultural Christianity or a family historical Christianity here, and there are some hidden but present roots in a lot of people, and those, they touch a chord, if I may use the pun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love what you said about like in the morning you're processing through that stuff, including like where's my opportunity going to be today? Because I think a lot of times, like it's just that's not front of mind for us.
Right.
Like here's what I got to get done today. Here's what's on the to-do list at work. Not like who am I going to get a chance to show Christ's love to? Who am I going to get a chance to share the gospel with? And so because of that, you don't see the opportunities that come up, or we're not looking for them. And I mean, there is very much that whole like, if you're looking for an opportunity, there's a chance you won't find one. But if you're not looking for one, it's almost guaranteed you won't, right? And I think that's such a help, like just to build that into your like morning mental routine of going like, that's part of what I'm leaving the house for today. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. We, I mean, people are already getting a picture. You're a pretty intentional guy. You've learned to be disciplined in a variety of areas. Talk to us about the fat crisis of 2016.
09. FC09.
Oh, the FC09.
Sounds like a video game.
It's a segue for us, because I do want to have a quick conversation, so there are a little bit of time left, just about how you integrate, your personal disciplines, your physiology, your approach to your physical health, and how that connects to not just like the work that you do, but your soul, your spirit, the whole person. FC09.
Yeah, thanks for bringing FC09 up. So let me set the stage. So it was my 35th birthday, and we were going out for dinner, my wife and I, and I could not find a pair of pants that I could button. I did not own any anymore. And so I had the somewhat humbling experience of going out to dinner after having punched a new hole in my belt, with the button undone and the zipper only halfway up, and having to wear a sweater long enough that it would cover the fly.
There you go.
And I came home from that and sort of stand in front of the mirror in my boxer shorts, and I got this vision of the future, and it was a vision of my face on my father's body. and I decided then and there, this has to stop because I know where it's headed. So for reference, my dad and I were roughly the same height, but he outweighed me by probably 80 pounds. Same frame. Picture me with 80 extra and not healthy pounds. So it's not like you wake up one day and you weigh 240.
Right.
It's a lack of intentionally not weighing 240 every day. Because you're going to drift towards 240. You're not going to drift down.
Yeah.
And it's not like I had this like super unhealthy lifestyle, or so I thought. But what I did not have was an intentionally healthy lifestyle. Right? And there's a distinct difference there.
Yeah. And some people drift faster than others, but the drift.
But it happens.
Yeah.
Right? And whether it's at, 19 or 25, or in my case, 35 or whatever.
My case was about 9.
Okay. Again, early bloomer.
Months.
Yeah.
It was a realization moment for me, which is why I can still remember the date. And so I'm like, I have to make a change. And there'd been, again, it's not like I was never active. I was, quote, active, and I'd played sports all my life to varying degrees. And, I would do stuff, and, I should go to the gym. So I actually owned a gym membership, but, when you don't have a plan or a system, you just
sort of that old joke about I've had a gym membership for 6 months and I haven't lost a pound. If this keeps up, I'm going to go in there personally and find out what's going on here. How come I'm losing?
Good Life's favorite customers.
Yeah,
Totally.
no kidding.
That's their whole business
Thank
model.
So what I realized was I don't have a system. I didn't know the words for it at the time, but now it's Il Sistema, the system.
Yeah.
And so that was a stark realization moment for me.
What's that James Clear quote?
Right. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best.
You're, perfectly designed to be getting the results you're currently getting is the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are no accidental abs. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And not that having ripped abs should be life's primary focus, but if you do not have in place a system that is achievable and that will persist, you can hope for all you want, but you're not going to unintentionally drift towards better health. And the reason it wasn't just me looking in the mirror, that wasn't the big problem.
Yeah.
It was I didn't feel well.
Yeah.
I was sluggish, and
Yeah, what are some of the, and you chime in on this too, AJ, because you've had a huge health transformation in the last few years. What are some of the best motivations? Because I do think it starts out at vanity. I don't like how I look, which there's some usefulness to that. But
totally, it's your vanity is only the external look at what your insides are screaming at you.
Right. But what are the things, I guess? Because I think there's all kinds of our many dozens out there that would be in a position where they're like, I'd love to get fitter, I just can't muster up the energy or to get healthy. What are the things, I guess? Another pithy leadership quote is until the pain of staying the same doesn't outweigh, or until the pain of change outweighs the pain of staying the same, you won't change. So how do you up, I guess, the motivation for somebody to say, I got to actually take my diet and my exercise and my physical health seriously? What do you think anchors those things?
I don't know that there's a universal answer that's going to apply to everybody. I had my dad as an example. There were a lot of things Dad just couldn't do, or didn't feel like he could do like he wanted to with his kids or his grandkids by this age. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be the dad that can't go throw the ball with my son or can't do whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be the grandfather that is struggling to pick up the baby or says, well, I guess I can't go with you guys today because I just can't keep up. Yeah. So I was sort of looking with the longer lens at what I didn't want to become. Yeah. But also at the present time, I didn't feel great. None of my clothes fit anymore, so I didn't want to have to buy a whole new wardrobe or just start wearing sweatpants only. My sleep was suffering, and I was already, I'm in a job where most of the time I don't have to work at night, thankfully. But, when I do, it's tough. I don't like to work at night. And I knew that physically I struggle when I have to do that, and compounding that with sort of inactivity and loss of energy level and all that stuff was just sort of snowballing. Yeah. But I also saw it a bit as a spiritual discipline problem. And I don't think it's one that's talked about in the church enough. Yeah.
Like a stewardship issue?
Correct. Like, I've been given this body, and not that I'm to worship it at all, but I am asked to steward it. And just like we're asked to steward our finances and our time and our talents, we're asked to steward our body. And letting that fall apart, I don't think meshes with that commandment. Yeah. And again, it's not a, hey, look at me, I'm super fit, or I'm strong and I can beat you in an arm wrestle, or I'm the toughest guy in the church. It's not that at all. It's a, what are you doing with what you've been given? Mm-hmm. But I do think that it speaks to some of the deeper parts of us in that, well, you say you've got good spiritual discipline. Where's the physical manifestation of that?
There's clearly a disconnect when you think like, fundamentally, we all became Christians for the purpose of eternal full health. Like that's like the whole, sign me up. I want to be, vitally healthy throughout eternity, like that's, and then we can't convert that though into how we live our lives and being about, and again, it doesn't just happen with diet. It happens with what you watch, what we listen to. It's amazing that war between, that becoming a new creation and letting that, inform everything that we do unto health, and that old kind of flesh that just wants to kind of retreat and eat and, consume. And it's
but there's some funny disconnect too, even within Christian circles, where we have sort of this list of stuff that we absolutely won't do. I won't drink, or I won't smoke, right? Those are health related things. I would never do drugs. Yeah, but you'll eat 3 bags of Doritos,
right?
Like, and I've never touched a drop of wine. Yeah, but you weigh 400 pounds and you can't get out of bed, and I'm not saying that, I'm not in any way sort of belittling the struggle that it is to control weight and to control diet, and it's a multifaceted disorder.
I think you're touching on the mindset though that has said that's okay and this isn't, and
right,
there's not like a holistic honesty about what's healthy and what's not.
I would say the other side of that though is there's a lot of dysfunctions people have that are a lot easier to hide.
Yes.
And so I've experienced a lot in church the notion that if your area that you're not as healthy as you should be, that you have some dysfunction, if I can see it in your silhouette,
right,
then you're a bad person. And if I can't see it in your silhouette, you're just a normal person, and no one's perfect. Right. And so the person who
you do have to wear your dysfunction at
totally, you are never not that. Yeah. Right. Whereas, if you were up till 4 o'clock in the morning, wasting your time scrolling garbage on your phone, you walk in the next day, no one goes, yoik, look how much that guy scrolls. Right. Or even if you have, if you've got a gambling habit or whatever, like, that's got to get pretty bad. Like, you're on the street or something before anyone comes in and goes, whoa, look at how much money that guy lost at poker last night. Yeah. Right. So I do think there's kind of I think a dynamic there that needs to be understood and appreciated. For sure. Again, I think that's the onus though is on Christians to have a truly holistic understanding of health. The same way of what I look at on
screens
Yep.
is every bit, even though, like I think Paul said, some people's sins, are out in front of them, and others, are kind of hidden behind. But the idea is everyone's got their struggles. But I do think there needs to be a holistic embrace of my body. I didn't make myself. Not only that, Christ bought me for a price. So there is like
honor him with your body.
Yeah,
is how
honor
that
him.
passage
Yeah,
goes.
it's like there is a theological underpinning on why more Christians should be doing what they can to be healthy.
Yeah.
I guess like that's the caveat I would put. We can't guarantee. And there are people who work really hard on their health and they're still big.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I mean, for me, I took multiple runs at it over my life. And the thing that was the game changer for me was giving access to medical treatment. I lost most of my weight before that, but it was like, oh, this is something different. This is an advantage I did not have before, right? And this is if I can tough this out for 9 months or whatever it was, then I'm going to get some help that will actually put this in reach for me.
Yeah.
And so, I do think there's your physical body is spiritual, but it's also physical.
Yeah.
And I do think there are some physical realities there too. Like you say that not everybody's body responds the same way.
I think the thing that honors God though is a vision of stewardship and applying that in. I'm
agree.
I'm going to do what I can.
Yeah. I just think we have to be careful that the results that would show up on the scale, we don't equate that to people having or not having that theology or practicing or not practicing to the best of whatever ability they have that discipline.
I think
I've got friends who are thin as a rail who eat absolute garbage all the time.
My wife.
And and there's people that would look at them and they would go, oh yeah, no, they're really a great steward of their body or whatever, right? And like maybe my father-in-law, I have never seen someone with healthier habits than him or higher cholesterol. Yeah. Like that guy, he would bike, I think it was 20 miles a day, ate like a bird. He's 6'4" or something like that. And still, I don't know if he'd crack 200 pounds. And there's just some stuff that he is predisposed to that is unhealthy. And
the key is stewardship.
Yeah.
And stewardship is a personal thing between an individual and God. And I think we run into problems from that guy's overweight and this guy's not, so he obviously loves Jesus more.
Yeah.
That
is a, I don't know if people intend to send that message, but when you're overweight, that's a message you hear at church. Skinny people love Jesus more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are holier or whatever.
Now, I will also add, and something that you said, like we are physical bodies, which is tied to the psychological.
Yeah.
It's tied to the emotional.
Yep.
It's tied to the spiritual.
Totally.
And I can only speak for myself because this is the only body I've ever inhabited. When my physical body is in better alignment,
yes,
my emotional, my psychological, and my spiritual tend to be in better alignment as well. Yeah. Partly from a discipline standpoint.
Yeah, I don't know how it all washes out, but you're right.
But also, we're not separate containers of, well, here's my physical container and here's my spirit container and here's how I handled my thoughts of, whatever you struggle with. Container and we are one body. I've never heard anyone say, boy, I've gotten a lot healthier physically, but now my emotions are suffering. No, generally,
Really?
No.
I'm part of a support group that's full of people who can tell you that story.
It's an outlier, though.
Well, no, it's not. It's because for a lot of people, the things that made them overweight was I'm not saying they're healthier. I'm not saying they aren't healthier, but they don't feel better because that was the thing that helped them cope.
So there's a withdrawal.
Well, if you had chronic back pain and you took Robaxacet every day and then you stopped taking it, it might be better for you, but you're not going to feel better, at least not overnight. right?
Process.
This was the thing that helped me to deal with whatever, and now that's gone. Now I do think I think you can get out the other side of that, but in the short term, I think you have to be realistic. Like, no, actually, this is like if you're an alcoholic because of your childhood trauma and you stop drinking, you're going to feel worse because you don't have anything to mask that anymore. Now, hopefully that'll bring it to the surface and you can deal with it and get to another even deeper level, but it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and I think you're not saying two different things.
No, but I think if we say, if you stop doing this, you'll feel better, and then people stop doing it and they don't feel better, they go, oh, well then that's not true. As opposed to saying, actually, it's a journey, but no, like just be aware of the dip, man.
I would take physical health as a more holistic physical health. Like, I don't think the guy that quit drinking yesterday is in physical health just because he stopped drinking yesterday. He's in physical health when his body has reached equilibrium where he doesn't need alcohol anymore.
Sure.
Doesn't mean he's not going to mentally crave alcohol anymore, but when he's going through the DTs, he's not too healthy right now.
Yeah.
Or healthy. But when you're through that, and when you, I would say, have reached a better place of physical health, I think it would be pretty rare that you would have someone feeling physically better and then and not having some positive spillover into other areas.
That's been my testimony for sure. Like when my fitness and diet starts to get out of whack, so does my dialogue with the Lord. So does my prayer life. Like
not me. Well, generally, the harder I push on my health, the worse. Like, I'm not saying it's bad to do it, but I know it's like I can feel it coming on emotionally when I try to tighten up my diet, for example. It's going to throw me off for a week or two, emotionally, mentally. I'm going to be down. I'm going to be low.
I think that is that withdrawal.
It's even simple stuff like your body runs on energy, and when you put less energy in it, you will have less energy. Now you might have more energy. You might be putting too much energy in it in a way that's long term damaging. But again, I think in that short term. Like, I guess I've heard so many people basically say, if you get healthy, everything will be better, which I think is not untrue, but is a massive oversimplification. Like, there's going to be there can be a very rough road from unhealthy to healthy.
Yeah.
And you may have to go through kind of that tunnel of increased pain. In the same way, I go back to the alcohol thing on the emotional level to go, like, if you've had something that has been masking some sort of emotional pain for you, you'll be better off to get off that thing, but you will be emotionally in worse shape initially because you don't have the thing, right? Now, the idea is to get to a place of health where you don't need the thing. And once you get there, yes, you will feel better.
Yeah.
But whatever, if you've been living life at a 4, you're probably going to go to a 2 before you get to the 8 on the other side.
I agree. And I can testify to that too. Like, it's not like FC09 started and ended on March 6th, 2009. Right. That was a 6-month process where I can assure you I did not feel great because I was sore every day and I was hungry all the time and my body was going through a pretty significant adjustment. Yeah. But once you reach that, I can also attest that it's a lot easier to maintain it once you've gotten there than it is to obtain it in the first place.
Yep, totally.
And during that first 6 months, you want to quit, you want to go back because it's easy, right? Whatever the crutch is, be it physical, be it food, be it substances, be it whatever that thing is, you were using it for a reason because you liked it.
Yep.
And it's very easy to do that. And that's where that building the system part comes in. Yeah. It's not just I'm going to get healthy. No, you're not.
Give us, we got to rank some stuff in a second, but really quick, give us the Geoff Cook, what are your non-negotiables as far as the system? Like, hey, here's some just building blocks, like as far as how I try to live my life, maintain, mind, physical, spiritual, emotional, relational health. What are some keystone habits for you?
All that stuff. Just sum that up in 3 minutes.
Just some stuff you're like,
tell us the whole way you live your life in the next minute and a half.
In real time.
If these habits are gone, I'm gonna be in trouble. What are the habits?
So broad strokes. So morning Bible reading. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that. And again, this was another area of my life that didn't have the system built in before. I was like, I'll read when I get a chance to. Now, part of that if I'm looking for excuses, which I shouldn't have. But part of it was like, I work really weird hours, and some days I'm getting up at 4 a.m, and other times I'm, sleeping late, whatever. So during the training years, I blamed it on that. Probably shouldn't have, but anyway. So getting into a system for that. So I started doing that August of 2014, which incidentally is also the same week I started drinking coffee.
Huh.
Never touched it before 2014.
Just started then.
Yeah, there's a bit of a story behind that, but that is my pre-coffee, post-coffee date of conversion.
It's a ritual, man. The coffee
Yeah, it is
in the
now.
morning,
Yeah. So no, I read it on my phone. Like I have a daily app. Here's my, there's the Daily Bread.
Yep.
I don't bother reading the Daily Bread stuff, but it's got through the Bible in a year.
Yep.
Part of that app. So every day it's got my Old Testament, New Testament, and the Psalm.
Yeah.
So that way I'm working through the Bible. I've done it paper version. I just find it more convenient to.
Yeah.
Here
Less
it
stuff
is.
to carry.
Here it is right there.
Yep.
So coffee gets poured, and read that portion.
Yeah.
And that's how the day starts. And that's usually sometime between 5 and 6. Depending on the day.
Which you can do if you go to bed at 9.
Exactly. Day's half over by 8. So that couple of things. Number one, to keeps me regularly in the Word. 2, sets that tone for structure. I don't like the word rigid because that means inflexible, and there is grace if you drop your phone in the toilet or if you're in a different time zone or whatever. But that's the structure. Start the day with that. And I would say one of the things that I stress to my kids most of all now is that's how you start the day. And my mom told me that when I was in university. I'm like, yeah, but I'm too tired in the morning.
Seek first.
Seek first.
Yeah.
Whenever I start an operating day, at the scrub sink. So that's my mental cue for prayer of the day. As we were talking about, I pray for, Lord, bless my hands, my eyes, and my mind.
Yeah.
Because those are the 3 things that I need to all be functioning, to treat people, to see what needs to be seen, not just work-wise, but around me, and how I can use the opportunity to treat people, but also see and treat other needs. From a physical standpoint, so sort of building what does the system since 2009 look like? It's changed a little bit depending on the season and sort of what I'm into. I firmly believe that resistance training, i.e. lifting weights, is key to a healthy body.
Yeah.
And there's solid evidence for that at basically any age after about 15, until you die. The lack of weight training, particularly in the older years, bone density, muscle strength, those have been clearly shown to prolong health, not necessarily prolong life, but prolong health before your curve falls off and you croak. So resistance training was the only thing that I did at FC09.
Okay.
So I did not have a system. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know anyone that I really sort of could ask, oh, you're doing it right. So I needed a couple of things. One, I needed something that would fit in my schedule. 2, that was not too onerous, because if it was, I was going to quit it. So I knew myself that if I'm like, I'm going to work out every day. No, you're not. Nobody works out every day except Arnold, and he was also on horse steroids. So
worked for him.
It did. No, it did. I mean, till his heart.
It would behoove you. Get yourself some horse steroids.
To not do that. So I knew it had to fit into my schedule, so it needed to be a bit flexible, but it also had to be something that was manageably repeatable.
Right.
And it needed some structure. It couldn't just be go to the gym, because I'm like, well, what do I do? There's a million things in there, and gyms are intimidating places, and you see all kinds of meatheads and everything, and you're like, I don't know what to do. So I bought a book. Not that I read good, but I bought a book, and I have zero affiliation with this. It was a book that worked really well for me. It was called Body RX, as in prescription. And I found it at Chapters, which was a store back then where you would buy books that had this
Back when
cover
you had to
thing
walk into a building and pick up a book.
paper with like type on it. And I picked that book because it was written by an ICU physician, and it had sort of a pretty good, the first half of the book was pretty nerdy. I'll be honest, it's not for everyone. Sort of explaining, but it was really helpful for me, like explaining the rationale for weight training and basic diet stuff, like nothing weird, like you're only going to eat watermelon. No. It was like lean protein, lots of vegetables and some fruit. A little bit of like healthy carbs. Ooh, wow, that sounds revolutionary. Not really. But again, it sort of laid it out really clear for me and was easy for me to follow. And then the second half of the book is like the dummy version of weight training. Now, this guy was like a bodybuilding champion, so not only was he an ICU doctor nerd, but he also was a bit of a meathead. And so he walked the walk and he talked the talk. And so I'm like, oh, that seems like a pretty good book for me. So I bought it, and I've bought multiple copies over the years and given them to people. I'm such a believer in it. Why? Because it's a magical book? No. Because it's the only secret? No. There's nothing secret in it, but it's just a good, solid, basic system that you can implement into your life. And it took me, as I mentioned, about 6 months of following a not weird, just healthy diet. Yeah. And for the first time, actually thinking about what I was eating.
Right. That's the shift.
It is. Yeah. What I was eating and when I was eating it. Like I wasn't just eating because I was hungry. You know what? Life lesson, learn to be hungry. Do hard things, and being comfortable with discomfort is a valuable skill. Let's take that one to the bank,
kids. That's a good one. Yep. So we're our time.
Not that I was hungry all the time. So people say, I'm not going to do that exercise because I was hungry. No, I wasn't. But anyway.
We have a custom to close off. We want to rank stuff. You recognize that?
I think you're one of the first people who's actually gotten that one.
Man, we were missing.
The Elsinore Brewery?
We've had a lot of uncultured folk on.
Gosh.
Today's top four, Mountainous top four. We wanted to rank top 4 sports films of all time. Top 4 sports films of all time. Who wants to kick it off?
You do.
Okay, I can go. In my number 4 spot, Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme.
Break 4.
Get up now, it's bobsled time. Cool Running.
Oh, wow.
Good Canadian content.
Oh, man, John Candy.
Oh, yeah.
Up in there, yep. And it was in Calgary at the Calgary Winter Games.
Sure was.
Number 3, Warrior. You ever seen Warrior?
Don't think I have.
It's got Tom Hardy. It's a MMA. What's the guy's name? Is it Nick Nolte? I think's in it. It is a good movie. Anyway, if you like a good fight scene and some pretty good acting,
good fight scene, pretty good acting.
If you like some great fight scenes and not good acting, my coming in at number 2, Rocky 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Rocky 4.
I was going to put that on my
Ivan Drago.
I actually had 2 of your 3 in my in my long list, but they didn't make me short.
Okay.
You will lose.
The best Rocky for sure.
I watched him train in the mountains just to get inspired to go to work out.
Pull that ox cart, Brent.
Doing those chin-ups from man, or those sit-ups he's doing. Yep. Like, oh, come on. And my number 1, got to go to Notre Dame. Rudy.
Classic.
Rudy Rudiger. Rudy. There you go. There's my 4.
Well, I'm going to join you with Rocky 4. That's on my list. Also Rocky, the first one.
Rocky 1.
Yeah, that's the one that won the Oscar, man.
Yeah. It is good. It's a little slow though. I rewatched that with my son.
Yeah, it's from a time when people
and his sweatpants were a little too
tight,
in my opinion.
Could see his Rocky.
That was Rocky too. Talladega Nights.
Oh, good one.
Yeah,
good
assuming
one.
You think of NASCAR as a sport.
Indeed.
Which I'm not sure I do, but it's a funny movie.
I'll give it to you.
Moneyball.
Hey,
on my list.
There you go. And then honorable mention, Iron Claw.
Oh, the wrestling one.
Yeah.
That's a tough, man. That's a hard watch.
Dude, you know they took a brother out, right?
So for people who haven't seen the movie, it's a story about this wrestling family and this one main character, one of the brothers, like everybody, he's like multiple brothers die.
Yes, in the movie, there's 4 brothers and 3 of them die. In real life, there were 5 brothers
and 4 of them
died. And that's
From wrestling?
no drug overdoses,
Life.
accidents. Just it's wild, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. The reason I put it in honorable mention though is because it's wrestling.
Yeah, you had to.
So it's like
So you'd give it to NASCAR, but you won't give it to wrestling.
well,
Sports entertainment.
I feel like NASCAR is more than.
I would argue wrestling is more athletic, but with the predetermined outcomes, it's less true sport.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I agree.
And I'm not saying for the NASCAR people, I'm not saying driving a car is unathletic.
Just not as much as coming off the top ropes.
Well, yeah, or actual something where you have to get up and run around for.
You tell me Jimmy Superfly Snuka was not an athlete.
And a murderer, but that's a deep
Oh,
cut.
really?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
he killed his girlfriend.
On that note, take us home. What's your top 4?
So number 4 spot, I also had Moneyball.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
It is.
Oh, A, Michael Lewis, one of my favorite authors.
B, Brad Pitt.
B, Brad Pitt.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, a ton of guy. C, it combines nerds and sports.
Hey.
I don't even like baseball, but I like Moneyball. Number 3, McFarlane USA.
What is that?
Exactly. Something you're going to look up.
I will.
It's about a cross-country track team made up of mostly overweight, marginalized Mexican immigrants in a little border town in Texas.
Oh, so it's checking all the boxes for
and
things I look for in a
and-
movie.
True story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis Quaid is the running coach that transforms these not running slothful Mexican immigrants into an award-winning cross-country track team.
That's
Against
one of
all
those.
odds.
That's one of those movies I have heard of, but couldn't have told you a thing about the plot.
Now
until
you know
just
the
now.
entire plot.
Yeah.
But it's still worth a watch.
There we go.
Number 2 spot is the yet-to-be-released Hoosiers 2.
Are they making a Hoosiers too?
No, but if they ever did, it would clearly be the second best sports movie ever.
He's speaking a word in faith.
I am.
Call it
because
forth.
The number 1.
I would say not only best sports movie, I would say number 1 film of all time is Hoosiers.
It is your number 1 of all time. Not just
Absolutely.
in the sports genre.
And my brother Jonathan can quote every line.
Hoosiers. It is a great movie.
I'll be honest with you.
and I would have been on my list if I knew.
Don't,
Totally.
be,
I
don't,
knew-
don't be honest with me.
No,
if you,
I knew you were going to come in so hard on it that I didn't put it on my
Same.
list, but
Fair.
but it is. Yeah.
It would be on my list.
Thank you.
It might be.
I also considered just doing 4 Rocky movies.
Rocky 1.
4, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that is
Agree.
the order.
Or if you're going for actual quality filmmaking, I think it's 1, 2, 4, 3. But if you're going for sheer testosterone fueled joy,
got to start with 4.
it is 4.
I'm going 4, 1, Creed,
Oh, I suppose.
Rocky Balboa.
Ooh,
Those are better than
they are good.
the Mr. T.
I just haven't seen
Clubber
those as
Lang?
many times. Yeah. And Thunder Lips.
On that
Hulk
note,
Hogan,
I think
Thunder
we
Lips.
have this. Our time has expired, and we are done. So, dude, wrong music. Cue the outro. There it is. That sounds cool.
Good
actually.
crossfade.
That was good.
That mixed
Thanks,
with the
man.
thumping bass from
problem.
upstairs. We're doing good.
Yeah.